So I've been holding a secret for a while now, and I can finally tell all you Pred followers that there was a content creator event yesterday. Me and a few other lucky selected people got to try out the new update for Predecessor early before the test on Friday. It's quite a lot to take in, but I'm going to try my best to break it down. Before getting into it, remember to subscribe if you haven't already, as well as leaving a cheeky comment and liking or disliking the video. I'd appreciate the help. So I'm going to start off with something that I didn't actually expect until early access: anti-cheat software. When you boot up Predecessor this time, you'll be met with Good Cop and Bad Cop. Good Cop being the little panda logo for easy anti-cheat, and Bad Cop, Death Stare Kallari. This should help massively with cheaters, though I'm only aware of literally one cheater in the entire of the previous tests, but it should hopefully serve as a deterrent for any other potential losers that want to try cheat in a weekend test, or potentially early access. Moving on from that to something a bit more exciting for most of you, I'm sure, the main menu. We got a sneak peek of this a few months ago, but now it's here in the flesh, and as you can see, it's as clean as it looked in the teasers. We can't use all the buttons yet, like the store, watch and community tab, they're still greyed out, but I assume those will be there for early access, not just a weekend test. If you want to view the heroes, you can also do that. You can click on the heroes and view their details, but it was still being worked on while we were capturing this, so we were asked not to show the work in progress, but it will have more details in the final version. You can also view all the items in the game, which I will be showing off in another video. Make sure to follow the pop-up in the top right of the video if you're interested in items. In terms of settings to play with, you have your fair choice, ranging from general ones like look sensitivity and disabling in-game hints, changing visual options to get the right settings, and setting your frame rate and resolution. Let's just bump that up to 120 to get it silky smooth. To the usual audio suspects, and then keybinds, which I'm sure you can all appreciate. If you want your jump button to be on F12, you can make it F12. The final thing I think is just as important as the rest: bug report. If you find a bug in the test, make sure to slap a report in. I'm sure they've done their best with internal testing, but there are always going to be a few sneaky little bugs that get through that are either caused by shipping the game, or just the multitude of hardware configurations you can't test with a small team. So make sure you help them out and yourself by reporting issues. After you're done on the main menu, you can join a game and see this shiny new Match Found screen. Once you get into the hero selection screen, you can chat with your team, see which team you're on, dawn or dusk, and pick from the heroes available. I like the changes they've made, it's simple but clean. So once you get in game, what's next? Well, the new map obviously. As I said in the last few videos, it looks shiny as fuck, and we now have a good view of it. I tried to do my best to get footage of it while still being useful in the game. The off lane is as we saw in the teaser, but at the side of it also has the green buff now, and the duo lane has the gold buff. The green buff gives you a boost of XP on kill and also a little bit of gold, and the gold buff is on the duo side and gives gold and a small amount of XP. But the neat thing is these buffs scale with the hero level, so throughout the game you will gain more XP from green buff per level, and you'll also gain more gold from the gold buff per level. So that should make for some interesting trades and trying to take control of these objectives. Mid lane is very much as you may imagine. It's not completely straight as some MOBAs make it, but it has the river running through the middle and a few entrances and fog walls into the jungle. Now for the jungle, there is quite a bit of vertical movement, as I and no doubt many others guessed from the small teaser, and there are a lot of slopes up and down. Sorry for the kind of choppy in and out video, as I only got to have one game as jungle, and yeah, I really need to remember how to jungle, but it should give you a slight look at what the jungle looks like and what to expect. But to break it down as simple as possible, there is red buff and 2 white camps on the right, and blue buff and 2 white camps on the left. You also have mini prime and orb prime pit, and there is also fangtooth pit as well. So there are quite a lot of points for junglers to try and control. These are things that will be crucial when warding to keep an eye on. Now I know you want to know about Howitzer, Kallari and Drongo, right? Well yes I did get to play them all. Although as you'll see in my future jungle video, my jungle has suffered massively from not playing MOBAs for years, and my Kallari was awful. So first up, Howitzer. His passive is that his next basic attack deals 15 plus bonus magical power damage in a 150 unit area of effect around the target. It also restores mana equal to 10% of the damage dealt or 50% for heroes, and every ability used reduces this passive by 5 seconds. Its Q ability is the R2000 missile, Very similar to what we saw in Paragon, it's a skill shot ability that deals magical damage in a small area on detonation, which at level 1 is 100 damage. His E is the landmine we all remember also. It detonates after 3 seconds or can be detonated by Howitzer early and knocks everyone back stood in its area, dealing 100 damage at level 1. His ultimate is very different to what you may remember from Paragon, and arguably for the better. He now launches himself into the air and is allowed to move freely like a hover for 5 seconds. During this time, his Q cooldown is reduced to 1 second, and the damage is increased by 10%, so it is a much stronger ultimate than what we had in Paragon, where it was very much a huge AoE with tickle damage. This one has way more use in a fight and will allow you to sneak out of range of melee heroes for a few seconds if used right. You then have the basic left click attack and also your right click, which is slow grenades, firing 3 proximity bombs that explode for 60 damage and apply a 20% slow for 3 seconds. Additional bombs to the same target deal an extra 20 damage and apply an additional 10% slow. Again, the damage numbers are all level 1, so expect the damage to scale as you level up. So moving on to Drongo's kit now, and first up is his passive. Abilities deal increased damage equal to 25% of his crit strike chance. Additionally, both his critical strike chance and abilities deal 1% of the target's maximum health as physical over 3 seconds. His Q is Gag Grenade, using tear gas to create a 400 unit AoE of silence for up to 1,400 units away for 3 seconds. Drongo's E is Rad Rounds, loading his pistol with uranium bullets that irradiate any target with basic attacks for 5 seconds. Every target hit repeatedly gains a new stack, and hit targets take 30 physical damage and 20 damage for each additional stack after 1.5 seconds. The ultimate you will definitely remember, Shrapnel Cannon, firing a blast of shrapnel from his bazooka that deals 200 damage and applies a 35% armor shred to any one hit for 8 seconds. The blast will knock you back in the direction opposite of where you fire it and knock back any close by enemies. Again, left click auto attack is his pistol, as I'm sure you know, and then the right click is Old Rusty, throwing out a boomerang that returns after hitting the world or traveling 1,800 units, dealing 40 physical damage and dealing a 25% slow to targets hit both on the way out and back in. Drongo's kit is pretty cool, and the passive is definitely a mouthful, but it means that your crit chance is a key piece of your kit. Along with that tick damage and rad rounds, you could clutch kill someone even after they escape your range, or even use Old Rusty to thunk them in the back of the head. Now for the final new addition, Kallari. Her passive is that after jumping, press again to have Kallari flip up into the air up to 2 times. Her Q is Shadow Walk. After a 1.5 second delay, Kallari becomes camouflaged and gains 10% bonus move speed for 6 seconds. The next ability or basic attack ends the camouflage. So her next basic attack while still in camouflage will deal an extra 10 damage at level 1. Her E is Death Mark, empowers her next basic or damage dealing ability within 5 seconds to apply a Death Mark, which will increase damage dealt by Kallari by 10% for 3 seconds. After those 3 seconds, it will pop and deal 60 true damage and deal 8% of the target's missing HP and grant her 30% decaying move speed for 3 seconds. Kallari's ultimate is Guillotine, which I'm sure the old Kallari mains are going to need a change of underwear after seeing. It's basically her legacy ultimate, where after a short delay, Kallari dashes forward 1,200 units and deals 200 physical damage to all enemies passed through. Left click is a basic slash as per usual, and then right click is Crippling Dagger, throwing a long range dagger dealing 70 damage to the first enemy hit, with a 20% slow for 1.5 seconds. It also deals 80% additional damage to monsters. So Kallari's kit is actually pretty good. If you've seen me in the Discord, whenever Kallari was brought up, my main thing was my hate for true stealth. And camouflage being the way it is actually the best way to go about it. Kallari is completely invisible, but if you get within a certain range, she will be visible to you, which is so much better, as if you know where she is and you can predict where she's going to go, you actually have a chance to catch her out rather than just, haha, true stealth, see ya, peace out. On the flip side to that, it's great for Kallari as it means she can gank and attempt to get in and out, plus the flips are great for jumping around the jungle. The damage in her kit also works nicely, as it works together to make her, at least on paper, an effective assassin, that we'll have to wait and see how people use her in the testing. Thanks to Ameda though and Tiger Stripe for hosting the event, and it was really cool and there were a lot of creators joining in. It felt really nice for the games that we got to play, and I didn't really have much feedback in terms of things I'd like to see changed, but I'm sure after the weekend and more hands-on time, maybe I'll find a few more things. Remember, this weekend's stress test starts at 12 PM EST, sign up now if you want to get access on a Friday. I will most likely be streaming a lot of it as well, so follow my Twitch in the pinned comment or description. And with that, I will see you for the next video.